Dominica's health sector is expected to receive a major boost from the government of India. The Indian High Commissioner to Dominica, Malay Mishra, told a press conference here on Wednesday that the country is expected to get assistance in the area of pharmaceuticals and training. Mishra described India's pharmaceutical industry as one of the leaders in generic drugs in the world, with over 11 billion exports on a global basis.
And here I have mentioned that we could also provide some expert as a healthcare professional for giving training to some of your healthcare people here. That could be done, and we could also train some people out in India under our existing ITEC program, which is basically a capacity building program. Apart from that, we could also have more of Indian pharmaceuticals come in here. Indian pharma have come a long way, and today India is the leader in the generic drugs in the world. We have now an export of about 11 billion US dollars, and mostly to developed markets, US, Europe, Japan. These are primarily our export markets now, and India is going very strong in having developed a very significant base of production of generic drugs. So that is exported, and we have a lot of tie-ups, we have a lot of production facilities overseas of these drugs, and they are now nearly global. There are about 10 or 12 top of the line companies in India who are doing global business. So our idea was to bring in some of these companies here as part of a delegation, a visit sometime later in the year, and see the possibility of getting cheaper drugs. Indian drugs are very cost competitive and highly quality conscious. So we combine both. We give good quality drugs, and we give drugs of global standard, and yet they are extremely cost competitive and extremely affordable, particularly for countries, developing countries, because we would like to see that more of these multinational drugs, which are very expensive to get, we can substitute them with equal quality and yet a fraction of the cost.
He says the delegation is expected to visit Dominica later this year. In that regard,
what you would be paying for those kind of drugs. So we are looking at getting a delegation of a pharma manufacturing companies to come here and see the possibility. Apart from your sourcing of drugs through the OECS way, you could also have possibility of bilaterally importing drugs from India. And we could say there are some Indian companies who are based in this region now. Some of them are in Trinidad itself, where I reside, in Venezuela, in Brazil. In this region, there are some important Indian drug company represented. So we could see that there could be a delegation coming here to see that possibility. Besides, there is also a proposal which we have invited the government to give on supply of health equipments, medical equipments. So that is also, I have taken a positive line on that, and we are inviting a proposal from the government of Dominica, seeking whatever assistance is needed from India in this field.
Indian High Commissioner to Dominica, Malay Mishra. Government's main legal advisor, Anthony Asafans, is calling of the electorate in Salisbury and Marigot to boycott a by-election that could take place in Dominica sometime in July. The seats of Edison James and Hector John were made vacant after they missed 3 consecutive sittings of Parliament.
The supporters and people who voted for Mr. Edison James and Mr. Sparks John should boycott the election. The United Workers' Party supporters and those who voted for them should boycott the election and send a strong political message. And if there are other candidates, independent candidates or Labour Party candidates or Freedom Party candidates, whoever it is may want to join this by-election, and it will be in the final analysis a matter for the parties to decide. And the candidate, vote for everybody else except them. The time has come for this delusion, this absolute schizophrenic delusion that the United Workers' Party and their supporters are suffering from come to an end. They seem to believe that they were cheated out of this election, and they cannot yet tell us where the 4,000 votes went that they had in 2005. In 2005 election, the United Workers' Party had over 15,000 votes. They have to start looking in the mirror. They've got to start reflecting the absolutely ridiculous campaign that they ran. They boycott the House by operation of law. Their positions have now been vacated, and they're blaming everybody else. The people of Salisbury and Marigot are going to have to send a message to these men and tell them politics is for men and not with boys with toys.
Government's main legal advisor Anthony Astafans. Meantime, James tells Sky News that the statements from Anthony Astafans should not be taken seriously at any time.
I just rode with one of my constituents, and the reactions from her is one in which the comment by Tony Astafan has galvanized people of Marigot with a determination to ensure that should there be any by-election that is contested by any other candidate, that the vote for the United Workers' Party candidate will be overwhelming. And I wish Mr. Astafan would go on a campaign, if you like, in Marigot and then Salisbury too, to tell people what he just said there. Because that kind of talk from this man galvanizes the United Workers' Party support and solidarity. Because they know that anything that they hear from Tony Astafan, giving advice to the United Workers' Party people, that they must do the exact opposite.
James says he is also concerned about statements by Astafans about the failure of 4,000 voters to switch allegiance to the Dominica Labour Party.
But another most interesting thing that Mr. Astafan said in that piece is that he asked us to check to see where our 4,000 votes went between 2005 and 2009. I am sure he knows where they went. I'm sure he knows where they went, because one of the things, the analysis that has been done, has really pointed to where they've gone. Because we know the extent to which persons were persuaded by either direct monetary persuasion or promises to build houses and to do certain things if they did not vote, if some of supporters did not go out and vote. So I find it most interesting that Mr. Astafan should link that comment about finding out where our votes went with his comment about UW people should not go out to vote. Remember, it was he who revealed, there's a program he ran, Truth Revealed. Remember, it was he who revealed sometime after the 2005 elections that he had gone to DBS and bought up all the time to put a stumbling block in the way of the United Workers' Party from getting time. So I found that comment interesting. But let him go ahead advising United Workers' Party people, because I'm sure that they know that any time Tony Astafan tells them to move to the right, that they must move solidly to the left.
Parliamentary Representative for Marigot Edison James. Salisbury MP Hector John has also responded to Asafan's statements. He tells Sky News that Asafan has no respect for the people of Dominica.
But it also shows that you're going to get the people, the supporters of the United Workers' Party in those constituencies to go out there even more and vote, to give support to our boycott and to give support to what is going on, because to ensure that we have a thriving democracy. And it shows that Tony Astafan does not care about Dominicans, but he cares about himself. And it's a democratic process. People, if there's a by-election, the people should go out there and vote, and it's showing that going to fire up the United Workers' Party and people in those constituencies. And it shows that the United Workers' Party is very strong in those constituencies and will continue to win those constituencies. All I would say right now, the Salisbury constituency voted the United Workers' Party overwhelmingly, and it's going to continue. It's about the country safeguarding our democracy, and we cannot run away from it. A lot of people in the Labour Party are supportive of the action that we are taking right now.
MP for Salisbury Hector John.